Now, guys, when you're watching entertainment and you're watching lots of fun things, remember that it's for fun, okay? So if something really bothers you or makes you feel upset, just ignore it, okay? I know it seems like, well, it's entertainment, how bad can it be? Sometimes people say things that are very upsetting. Sometimes creators aren't doing mentally well. They might have a mental problem or something wrong with them. And so they say something and you're like, oh my God, that's horrible. And you feel really down. And you're like, well, what about the creator? Like, who would say such a thing? Who would do such a thing, right? So you have to remember that it's not always, and some people have agendas or motives, right? So they might say something with a certain agenda or a certain motive. So, you can't be held, in a situation where you feel down based on what someone's saying, only because, you have to live to the best of your ability. Like for me, I'm a very gorgeous person. I look very, very good. But people can say things that might upset me, right? Which I don't get very upset very often. I'm usually very rebellious and very strong, and I can handle almost anything. But in general, people can say something, and it can be hurtful, right? Maybe you've gone through it, and you just feel like, oh no. But in general, that's where you have to cut yourself off from certain things, Maybe you're not ready to handle it, or maybe it's not something that you really feel is going to be really contributing to your growth, right? It's really something to be proud of what you do and how you spend your life, And remember that just because one person is living a certain way, or one person is doing certain things, or one person has certain things, that doesn't mean that everybody has those things or everybody's doing well. There's a lot of people really suffering in the world. A lot of people really have nothing. So when you might get jealous of someone for having something, or you might feel they have all this stuff, you have to remember that there are people out there in the world that are homeless. There are people out there in the world that have nothing. And a lot of these things that people have are things that you can probably get yourself, right? Or me, right? Like, you might be jealous of something, but it's like, obviously, you know yourself better than yourself, right? You know yourself better than anyone. So you know you can get those things. So to be jealous of people that are getting certain things, deep down you can get those things, You know your true self. You remember the time when you were conquering the globe back then, right? When you were younger, right? Anyway, totally enjoyed the show, guys. Don't listen to any haters or anybody saying anything negative. Trust me, guys, if you were living the life that that person was living, you might not want to. And even if it's great, you might be capable of getting the same thing. Anyway, guys, I'm off, darling. I gotta get going, darling. I got a lot to do, darling. I got a lot to do. But Melina, your message is so profound, darling. We gotta hear it all, darling. We gotta hear it all. That was it for now, darling. But I'll definitely come back and continue messages like that some other time, darling. Bye, everyone.